meta ideology, wide variety basically. So socialism is a meta ideology. Full stop. It is not. It is like a hat. It is like a hat that has lost its shape. That has lost its shape because everyone wears it. Full stop. In this, it's yesterday we did socialism. Before yesterday, the day before yesterday, हमने सोशलिज्म डिस्कस भी नहीं किया था. यार बताना चाहिए था. आई वाज अज्यूमिंग कि हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं प्रीवियस क्लास, इसलिए कल मैंने डिटेल में नहीं गया था सोशलिज्म के. चलो, देयर वाज सम एस्पेक्ट व्हिच वी मिस्ड. आई वाज थिंकिंग दैट आई हैड डिस्कस सोशलिज्म अर्लियर इन डिटेल, तो उसको एक बार देख लेते हैं, देन आई विल डिक्टेट द कंप्लीट थिंग. Socialism, of course, few idea I gave you that socialism is basically, you can say, pro-workers movement, basically. So for that, we need to understand a bit of evolution that I did not do yesterday. One was feudalism. I think we have discussed this. Feudalism, basically, there are two classes. The classes are feudalism, lord and serfs. You can create a parallel in India of feudalism as zamindari system. It was a parallel to the same mechanism of lord and serfs wala. And then the feudalism was challenged by,
if I'm in India, when was this covered?
Ram, are you saying something?
Yeah. I'm just asking you, when was this covered, this class on socialism? Because yesterday we covered parts of secularism, and then we went on to have a general idea of what the preamble talks about. So when was this covered exactly?
I'm telling you, na, before that we already had two classes, na.
Okay, so it's not on that. Okay.
So on that we had covered. So I was actually, I thought that I had covered earlier. So that's why in earlier class I just gave a glimpse, did not go in the detail. So आज हम cover कर रहे हैं detail में. Okay, again capitalism. So feudalism was a system there, lord and serf system was there. It was challenged by capitalism. Two people are there, capitalist and working class. Two kind of people, capitalist and working class. Basically, if you look, okay, these serfs were basically indented, as we call them, for generations. You will work, your father will work, whatever. Your entire generations will serve a single lord. You have a lord and they will be served by serfs. So they were bonded by relations forever. So but what capitalist is, na, capitalism when came, they promised, whom you will promise emancipation or freedom? To the depressed class. In every system, you always promise revolution. Who brings revolution? The depressed class. Those who are getting the advantage, why would they change the system? So in this system, these were the advantageous people or the beneficiaries. These were the exploited people. So tell me, whom did capitalists promise liberty, freedom? Serfs. So they came, they promised these people that you are in bonded labor forever. We are gonna free you, and you have right to choose your employer. And if you have a talent, become the employer himself. That's all the argument of capitalism. Basically merit, basically hard work. That is what you have to worry about. Merit, hard work, whatever may be the case. That's capitalist argument. But they basically offered them emancipation, took their support to challenge the lords, and ultimately a new system was created in which they themselves became, capitalists became the haves and they became have not. Again, remember this, there may be few of the serfs who became capitalists. Why capitalism is not very, I would say, challenged? Because this class of capitalists is very open. It is not like you cannot be a capitalist. Of course you can be a capitalist. Work hard or do some, be a cunning mind. You need to know how to do the money here and there, and you will become a capitalist basically. So anyone can be capitalist in this case, but it's a myth. The mobility, the social mobility from lower classes to upper classes is a proper myth. It has been exhaustively proven. Until unless you are highly talented, exceptionally talented, then only you can jump this barrier, which is not the case with 99% of the people. So most of the people remains have nots and have. Is it clear? This was bonded. A lord who may not deserve to be a lord, but was a lord because his father was a lord. That was the problem. Here, at least you have the fluidity that to remain here, you have to be exceptional. Otherwise, you will fall to the working class. Okay? So, of course, these people were highly exploited by these people. The state that we have today, that is the democracy that we have today, is basically what? A capitalist version. The democracy that we have today is a capitalist version. So remember this, capitalist always supports democracy. So that's why anytime we say na democracy, so we think of a liberal democracy, a capitalist democracy. It is not, though both things are different. Democracy is a different system and capitalism is a different system, but they are so much intertwined with each other that we always think them as together. But remember this, capitalists support a mechanism of government that is democracy. And why they should support this? I just told you capitalists believe in what? Merit, hard work, liberty. To liberty. In economics, you will study something called as invisible hand.
So you are teaching economics, no?
I did teach them. So I hope. So economics, you will study something called as invisible hand. Invisible hand argues that the state shall not intervene in individuals. What does the individualism argue? Sorry, invisible hand argues that the state shall not intervene in individual action. For example, if I want to open a factory, I should be. The state shall not dictate to me where I can open my factory. And that was the case in the beginning with the working class, this capitalist class. They were highly exploited. Okay. These people from the farmlands and all, they came to which places? Factories. Industrialization is the initiation of capitalism, basically. And that's a very beautiful story. This capitalists in the initial stages supported whom? The king and queens. We did discuss that 30-year war. In that, who supported the king and queens? These people. Because the king and queens were fighting against whom? Church, established authority. And as soon as they were, this has been a very smart people. They have evolved over time. That's why they're still here. That's why they're still here. Huh? Everything. They have evolved. Every challenge that was presented to them, they always evolved new ideas. So they gave against this, they supported whom? The kings and the queens. The people who have just joined, basically, we are discussing an event from world history. In world history, you will study an event of 30-year war. Basically, initially, we all know that in medieval time in Europe, church was a dominating factor. Church used to control everything. So what happened is the kings and the queens started to challenge them. They said, if we are the sovereign, then who are you to command us? And a long war ensued, 30-year war. After that, at the conclusion of war, a treaty was signed, which was Treaty of Westphalia, 1648. Treaty of Westphalia, that treaty conclusively proven that state is supreme. We did discuss about sovereignty, if you remember. उसमें वही बात आता, Treaty of Westphalia established the sovereign government for the first time in the world. At that point of time, in that war, these people supported the kings and the queens. Okay, this is called as the mercantile phase. You will study that in economics. I'm just giving you a reference. So in that, they supported the kings and the queens. And as soon as the king and the queens served their purpose, they were discarded. And they supported democracy. So okay, these were the strong people. To fight a strong, you cannot fight with a weak person. So they supported another strong power to subdue one strong party. Once they are done with, they came again and they said, now it's your time. So they switched to democracy. Remember, these are the people who supported the kings and the queens. And then when they did away with this feudal system, they came to democracy and people's revolution, as it is called. Yahan tak clear hai sabko? Then capitalism was itself challenged, because I told you all the working class was living in the factories and all, highly concentrated, without any hygiene, without any sanitation, without any facility. Now we have labor laws. That's the example of socialism. Before that, because for the first time, you had factories. Earlier, there used to be household works. You have seen the craft, as you will study in ancient history, traditional crafts, which was handed over from generation to generation, the same family. This is not traditional craft. Anyone can be hired, anyone can be fired, anyone can make anything. Is it clear? Up till here? So they were challenged by the mechanism of socialism. Now, what these people said. These people promised these people freedom, na? To whom these people have promised freedom? कैपिटलिस्ट तो ऑलरेडी मजे में है. कोई बात नहीं, स्लिप ऑफ टंग है. अरे मेरी जवान टूट गई. Basically, they promised emancipation. It was Treaty of Westphalia. Treaty of Westphalia, 1648. Year, again, I am saying not important.
Right.
Most of the years are not important. All you have to remember is concepts.
Right.
Socialism. Basically, they offered the freedom these people offered to the serf. They offered this freedom to whom? The working class. They said, come, enjoy. You will have liberty in our system. And that's why it is called as, basically it is called as the ideology of the poor. That's a very peculiar thing. It's the ideology of the poor. But the poor cannot understand this. Because to understand something intellectual, you require certain level of education. They are promising emancipation to the working class. Is it clear? Now there are numerous variety of socialism. One is, for example, Maoism. Mao Zedong, he carried out a revolution in China. Okay? Maoism. And its Indian varieties, does anyone know? Naxalism. The Naxalite you hear every time, they are the Maoist variety of India. They are Indian Maoist, you can call. They are influenced by the Maoist ideology. The ideology is that power comes from the barrel of the gun. Okay? So socialism is a very wide ideology. And among this, there are various branches. For example, first is communism. Communism is propounded by Karl Marx. What is communism? Classless, stateless society. How it works? Let me tell you. Look, capitalism we just understood. Whom they supported at the first time? The king, lords ke to khilaf the. Kings and the queens. In second time, they supported the democracy. So who made the democracy? Abhi to bataya, capitalists made the democracy. So in a democracy, who is the biggest beneficiary? The capitalist class. The capitalist class is the biggest beneficiary. So what these socialist people said, they said the democracy that you have is actually what? A capitalist democracy. It's a democracy for capitalists, a dictatorship for working class. It's a democracy, but only for the capitalist, but a dictatorship for the working class. आपको inside तो करना है. So they said we will create a new democracy. The name they gave that to is People's Democracy. Have you ever heard the word? What is the full name of China? People's Republic of China. We are Republic of India. Why this word people's? This is the significance. People's democracy. They talked about people's democracy. Yahan tak clear ho, it's conceptually loaded, and we will keep on visiting this in the entire polity. This will come again and again. Up till here, any confusion to anyone? तो तीसरी चौथी बार कर रहे हो, तो पहली बार कर रहे हो उनको देख लो. Clear है ना you? Everyone clear? Okay. So people's democracy. अब थोड़ा नेम को देख लेते हैं. Why people's and why democracy? What is the essence of democracy? I told you. Who is the sovereign in democracy? People are sovereign. But of course, how many of you can become the prime minister? That's the theory, that you can vote a person prime minister. You cannot be the prime minister. It's a theory which says that there is an elite class in which you have numerous choices. But democracy offers only the choices to choose elite. It does not offer you to become elite. It offers you to choose elite. You can choose Rahul Gandhi, Kejriwal, whatever may be the case. But you yourself cannot become the PMCM. You got the logic. On democracy works on, we did discuss something called as majorities. तब मैंने आपको बताया था, in a democracy, generally speaking, we all should agree on everything. But the problem is we cannot. We cannot agree. 140 crore people agreeing on one single point is virtually impossible. So for that, we have a principle of majority. that if 50% of the people agree on something, then it is assumed that all agrees. That's why we have majorities, different kind of. We will do majority again also. So what happened in democracy? In principle, people are sovereign, but in real life, the capitalists enjoy the freedom. They control everything. Who funds political parties? Capitalist funds political party. You know, na, electoral bond issue we will do. And do not take the name, bhai. देखो ऑनलाइन क्लास में नाम नहीं लेते किसी का, ऑफलाइन में जी भर के नाम लो. ठीक है, वे बोले मैं तिहाड़ में तुम्हारी सीट रिजर्व हो जाएगी, क्या फायदा. ठीक है. Anyway, the thing is, all the government are supported by who the people, capitalists. They provide the fund on which these parties fight election, and obviously, if they get fund from them, they will work for who? That's why the government focus more on ease of doing business rather than ease of living. It focus more on business-friendly environment than providing you food, health, whatever. Look at the government hospitals condition. In any Delhi mein to it's sufficiently good. Go to any Mumbai, chodo, go to UP, Bihar. There will be a flat land with the name of hospital. ठीक है. but डॉक्टर मिल जाए तो फिर बहुत ही बड़ी बात है. तो but in the very same state you have business conclaves where the government promised, come to our state, I will offer you this. You got the idea? So that's what they said. Basically the democracy you have is capitalist democracy. It's a dictatorship for the working class. We will establish a people's democracy in which the working class will be the ruler and the capitalists will be the people. Reversal of order. यहाँ तक सबको clear everyone? Again, conceptually हम यही रुकेंगे. Again, it is very deep. It has numerous types. Few types that we have in India are, one is, I told you, moist. The Naxalites they believe in a revolution. देखिए, who is the beneficiary in capitalism? Capitalists. Would they give up their privileges easily? So you have to do something. So there are various branches in socialism. Some suggest for a violent revolution. One of them is Karl Marx. Karl Marx suggested the working class has to go for a violent revolution against the capitalists. Then capture the state. You yourself become the PMC and whatever may be the case, and then do whatever you want to do. Bring the change you want. Is it clear? So one branch is that. Second branch of socialism you can say is Ambedkar's idea. Ambedkar never believed in violent revolution. He also wanted a change for the people, but not violent. He said, educate, organize, agitate. Get educated, get organized, and then agitate for your rights. That's Ambedkar's idea of revolution. So, is it clear? Na? Revolution has to be there so that the working class, remember this, when I say working class, it means everyone who is not an owner. It's not you're MD of a company or not working class. Everyone is a working class until unless you are the owner. Okay? So basically they said, we have seen Mao's idea of violent revolution. Then we saw Ambedkar's idea of peaceful revolution, constitutional mechanism. Gandhian idea of satyagraha. Okay? Similarly, there are numerous ideas. So there are numerous branches of socialism. And communism is what? Is a type of socialism.
Communism means without equality in terms of...
With equality. Communism means with... Communism ka, from now on, remember everyone, if anyone asks you anytime what is communism, you will say classless, stateless society. Why stateless? Because I just told you, in this system, who is the beneficiary? Capitalist. Who supports the leaders? Capitalist. For whom the leaders will work? Capitalists. So state, according to these socialist people, especially Karl Marx, a democracy is actually an institution for capitalists. I told you the government focus on ease of doing business than ease of living. So he said that this democracy you have is a fake democracy. In this, it is working only for the capitalist people, not the working class.
So what do you mean by communalism? Sorry to
Communalism, again, communism, if you divide it, it has driven from community. The community means community, identity, religion, whatever may be that. Communism means when you assert your own identity over other. It may not involve anything against the state. For example, you say I am Maharashtrian. जैसे महाराष्ट्र में है ना concept जय महाराष्ट्र and the son of soil theory, the shift chain of propounds. So that is communalism, where you say that if you are not Maharashtrian, you have no right to in the Maharashtra. That's communism. It has nothing to do with the state. Communism is against the state. It's a fight against capitalists, a state established by capitalist system. वो अलग है. That's an ideological fight. It's a communal thing. Clear है सबको? Any question in anyone's mind? Please ask.
Communism revolts against capitalism, not communalism.
कम्युनिज्म अलग है. कम्युनिज्म क्लास वो हो गई ना, क्लास वॉर हो गई. ओके, देन राइट डाउन. अब लिखिए विद इन दिस राइट डाउन. नेक्स्ट पैरा से लिखिए द कैपिटलिस्ट. हाँ, सोशलिज्म में लिखना है. दो लाइन का स्पेस छोड़ देना, अभी लिख लेना. ठीक है. द कैपिटलिस्ट challenged the feudalist system. The capitalist challenged the feudalist system and promised emancipation to the depressed class. Remember, I am saying depressed class, not caste. If I say depressed caste, then this Ambedkar. ठीक है? Depressed class, within bracket you can also write working class. I think I have written something wrong. पढ़ना है एक बार, मुझे लगा कुछ गड़बड़ हो गई.
Capitalists challenged the feudalist system and promised emancipation to the depressed.
अरे डिप्रेस क्लास तो इनके टाइम पे था. सर्फ होंगे, ब्रैकेट में सर्फ करिए. डिप्रेस क्लास में सर्फ लिखिए, क्योंकि फ्यूडलिज्म में द डिप्रेस क्लास इज द सर्व्स, नॉट द वर्किंग क्लास. वो कैपिटलिज्म में. कर लिया सबने सही? ठीक है, फुल स्टॉप. इन्होंने प्रॉमिस, कैपिटलिस्ट ने इनको किया था. इनको प्रॉमिस इन्होंने किया. ठीक है, तो इसी वजह से हैविंग सम प्रॉब्लम. हाँ, फुल स्टॉप के बाद व्हाट वी हैव. हाँ, दिस प्रॉमिस ऑफ इमेंसिपेशन. This promise of emancipation was belied by the exploitation of the newly created depressed class, within bracket working class. ठीक है, फुल स्टॉप. नेक्स्ट पैरा. The socialist emerged as a challenger. The socialist emerged as a challenger to whom? Capitalist. The socialist emerged as a challenger to the capitalist. Full stop. They argued that the capitalist democracy is a democracy only for the capitalist. Comma, it is a semicolons. It is a dictatorship. For the working class. It is a dictatorship for the working class. Full stop. Next para. Socialism basically finds itself divided into itself divided into numerous branches. Numerous branches. Full stop. All of these talks about emancipation. Talks about emancipation of the working class. Emancipation of the working class. But the mechanism to bring that emancipation. But the mechanism to bring that emancipation varies. Emancipation varies, full stop. Yes. For example, Ambedkar's socialism believed in constitutional changes. While Maoist socialism believed in what it believed in? Violent revolution. ठीक है, full stop. Now subheading Nehruvian socialism. Subheading Nehruvian socialism. Within this write down, there is dispute. Yes, you have a question? Okay. There is dispute among the scholars. About the exact content. Of Nehruvian socialism. Full stop. However, it can be understood. As a form of mixed economy. With heavy government control. Full stop. There is another, actually there are different interpretation of scholars in Nehruvian socialism what actually meant. What we have just wrote is economic dimension. You will study in economics the year from 1951 to 1991. We discussed in earlier class also. It was a Nehruvian socialist idea. Okay. Please just write another paragraph within Nehruvian. Another paragraph. Nehruvian socialism is also compared with Fabian socialism. Fabian socialism, full stop. Fabian was a Roman general. His name, actual name was Fabius or something. He was a Roman general with the policy of within inverted commas Strike when the iron is hot. Policy of strike when the iron is hot. Inverted comma, close, full stop. Basically, everyone understood. They are trying to say, bring the changes you want. For example, in this socialism, you want changes for working class, then bring the changes back. Government mandate. For example, during Nehruvian time, you will study farm laws and labor laws. He brought a lot of labor laws to protect. However, their actual implication was very severe. That's a different debate. But he brought a lot of laws to protect the labor class, working class, the agriculture class. MSP that you have, MSP, PDS, all these are reminiscent of what? Socialist era. Nowadays, we do not have these kind of protections because the current government is capitalist. The current government is capitalist. Within this, there is a term called as neoliberal. This is a term used by UPSC itself in a GS paper. Highly unexpected because it's a highly loaded term and they use in a GS paper. Nobody was expecting that anyway. What is neoliberalism? That we will do, and we will then move to the next topic, secularism. What is neoliberalism? Remember this. I just told you the democracy you live in is basically an idea of capitalist. So remember this, capitalist is an economic component of liberalism. What is capitalism? You can call them brother and sister relation. Capitalism or capitalist, it's a system which is basically an economic part of liberalism. Or liberalism you can call as the political part of capitalism. How it works? देखिए यहाँ पे फोकस किस चीज पे है? But they have focus on capitalist, liberty to ease of doing business. Basically a liberty but economic sense. In liberalism, the core word of liberalism is liberal. That comes from the word liberty itself. So the core focus of liberals is liberty. We will understand fundamental rights. All fundamental rights are basically liberal in origin. We have a liberal democracy. Is it clear? Capitalism is the economic component of liberalism. Liberalism is a political component of capitalism. And within liberalism, again, there are numerous forms. Again, please do not go in details for GS. There is no point. Within that, one form is neoliberalism. Neo means new or contemporary. Neoliberalism basically is market fundamentalism. What does this philosophy says? Again, remember, it's a political part. Neoliberalism is a political component of capitalism. But again, this is what government adopts. मॉडर्न कहाँ पे इस्तेमाल करते हैं? मॉडर्न देखिए, मॉडर्न एक बहुत अलग कंसेप्ट बन जाता है. मॉडर्निटी इज नाउ एम आई ऑडिबल राम?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what I was saying is liberalism, capitalism is economic component. Liberalism is a political component. One of the variety of liberalism is neoliberalism. This is basically market fundamentalism. Means the system says everything shall be determined by demand and supply. Government support is not required for anything. As you know, the current government is what? Neoliberal. The current government is privatizing everything. Be it defense. Again, you can debate on privatization. That's a different thing. We are not debating that here. We are only understanding the orientation. The orientation is neoliberal. That's why government believe in withdrawing supports and believing in market. For example, farm laws is a prime example. Farm laws में क्या था? They were allowing the private sector to come in. It was an example of neoliberalism. Is it clear? हो गया क्या? Clear है सबको? कौन? नहीं, करंट गवर्नमेंट इज हाईली न्यूलिबरल. पूरी तरह तो कोई भी नहीं होता, बट यू कैन से 99% न्यूलिबरल. बट देखिए इसमें दैट्स व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट, फॉर एग्जांपल आपके पेट्रोल प्राइसेस अभी कितने हैं? हमने करंट इवेंट में डिस्कस किया था 108. इट टेल्स मतलब इट इज अबव 100 बेसिकली. व्हाई इट इज अबव 100? बिकॉज द गवर्नमेंट डज नॉट प्रोवाइड सब्सिडीज. द अर्लियर गवर्नमेंट, क्या प्राइस तब नहीं बढ़ता था? Even earlier the prices used to rise and fall. It's a normal part of the market. but the previous government used to give heavy subsidies to the people. That's why you have to pay 50 rupees or something for a petrol that could be 100 rupees. But the current government does not do that. The reason is neoliberal. Orientation is highly neoliberal. For example, that's why the government is this reform, farm laws is a prime example of neoliberal reforms. The things that you are focusing on, ease of doing business, the government is focusing on. Is it clear? तो यहाँ तक clear है सबको? Yes. लिख लीजिए please, write down.
Excuse me if I may interject.
हाँ बोलिए, go ahead.
You were saying that neoliberalism is market driven and completely is independent of the political aspects. Was that the same as your invisible hand in economics that you spoke of it around 10-15 minutes ago?
First thing, you're too fast. ठीक है?
Oh,
a bit slow so that I can listen. The voice is too low here, na?
I'm sorry. You were saying that neoliberalism is market driven. So
yes.
would it be right in assuming that it also acts as the invisible arm that you spoke of at the beginning of the class?
What? Could you repeat the last sentence?
The invisible hand in the economic scenario. Can you say that neoliberalism also acts as the
invisible hand? Yes. Of course. In economics, you will study Invisible Hand by Adam Smith, and then Hand of the State by Keynes, J.M. Keynes, John Maynard Keynes. So that's a two different thing. Yes, of course. Neoliberalism is over expansion of hand of the state. Oh, sorry, invisible hand. Too much, basically. Clear?
Okay. Thank you.
Chalo. Please write down.
Basically, without government interference, market.
Market will determine everything. If you can buy, eat, otherwise die. So that's why even it is called by some scholar. For example, Immanuel Wallerstein called it Pick's philosophy. It has been criticized severely. Pick's philosophy. You do not care about it. The people have been so. I believe you have heard about Darwin. Darwin. What was theory?
Theory of evolution.
Yes, theory of evolution. Remember the survival of the fittest. It was not said by Darwin. Yes. Herbert Spencer. We often confuse that Darwin said survival of the fittest. He never said that. He talked about natural selection. That's a different thing. Survival of the fittest is a political, I would say, alienation of that idea. And these people believe in that. तो हर जगह हो जाती है. तो Herbert Spencer, politics everywhere. वो राहुल गांधी ने कहा था ना, उसे एक्सटेंड करो, politics everywhere. Anyway, so neoliberalism, is it clear? So that's survival of the fittest. They believe in that. They basically say the state shall not intervene. If you can buy it. If you cannot buy it, die. We don't care. So that's why it is called as Pick's philosophy. Okay, that's a criticism. Anyway, do not go in detail beyond this. Please write down. And the heading you shall put is neoliberalism. Put the heading neoliberalism. Neoliberalism. Within this, write down the liberalism as a political ideology. The neoliberalism as a political ideology. As a political liberalism is a political ideology, is a counterpart. The counterpart, Ardhangani basically. It's a counterpart of what?
Liberalism.
Capitalism. Is a counterpart of capitalism. Full stop. Liberalism also has numerous varieties. Full stop. Out of it, the current model of governance. Is neoliberal. Next para. It is based. Neoliberalism is political ideology. इसका इकोनॉमिक पार्ट भी कोई होगा वो लिखेंगे. इट इज बेस्ड ऑन, एग्जैक्टली, इट इज बेस्ड ऑन वॉशिंगटन कंसेंसस. It is based on Washington consensus. Full stop. Washington consensus या WC लिख दीजिए. वाटर क्लोजेट भी होता है वैसे वो, तो अच्छा ही लगेगा. Please write down WC. Go ahead. WC has following component. कौन कौन से component है? Minimum government. जैसे देखिए, how you can know the what is the nature of current government? Because when Modi ji came to power, he gave a slogan: minimum government, maximum governance. Minimum government is what these people say. Minimum government, minimum interference, so minimum government, maximum governance. Good idea, but this idea does not work for the depressed class, and that's why you have a situation currently in India where some people becomes the world's richest people, and the remaining population gets their per capita income reduced. Where is कौन? हाँ, ऑफ कोर्स. आप कोई भी रिपोर्ट उठा लीजिए, ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स में वी आर गोइंग, ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स में हम 132 पे आ गए हैं, कभी 130 पे होते थे, 2 पायदा नीचे. ऑन एवरी सोशल इंडिकेटर ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स में हम नीचे गए. आपका हैप्पीनेस इंडेक्स में वी हैव गॉन डाउन. नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे के मुताबिक फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन इंडिया द द हंगर इन चिल्ड्रन इज इंक्रीजिंग, द पर कैपिटा इनकम इज रिड्यूसिंग. तो ऑन ऑल सोशल फ्रंट्स वी आर गोइंग डाउन. इकोनॉमिक्स में वी विल स्टडी इन डिटेल ऑल दिस थिंग, पर यहाँ नहीं कर पाएंगे, इट्स अ पॉलिटिकल पार्ट. एनीवे, क्लियर है ना सबको? प्लीज देखिए वॉशिंगटन प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ वॉशिंगटन कंसेंसस क्या है. नंबर 1, नहीं, वो तो पॉलिटिकल आइडिया है. नंबर 1, फ्री मार्केट. नंबर 1, फ्री मार्केट. नंबर 2, privatization. Number 3, market determined. कोई भी लिखवा दो, उसमें क्या है? मार्केट डिटरमिन्ड प्राइसिंग या पॉलिसी, जो चाहे लिख लीजिए. मार्केट डिटरमिन्ड पॉलिसी, राइट इन. और ये सारे इकोनॉमिक पार्ट है, डिटेल में सारे मत लिखिए, बट अंडरस्टैंड दिस. देखिए, अरे ये पढ़ चुके हैं. तो फ्री फ्लोटिंग एक्सचेंज रेट, फॉर एग्जांपल फ्री फ्लोटिंग एक्सचेंज रेट यू विल स्टडी इन इकोनॉमिक्स. एक्सचेंज रेट सिस्टम, डॉलर वर्सेस रुपी वाला. फ्री फ्लोटिंग एक्सचेंज होना चाहिए. रिड्यूस टैक्सेस, इंक्रीज टैक्स बेस, bring more people into the under the fold of taxism. These kind of principles are there, and they all evolved in Washington. That's why it is called as Washington Consensus. And your WTO, World Bank and IMF will be taught in your IR are based on this model. The current globalization that you live in is neoliberal. The World Bank, IMF, WTO are neoliberal. The current government is neoliberal. So this is the governance model. Whether you like it or not, it is. There are various reasons behind this. वो बाद में. Is it clear? Time बड़ी जल्दी निकलता है. आगे लिखिए. Please write down. Next, please write down. I think we had done secularism. लिखिए गया. First, write down idea of India. 10 पॉइंट है इसमें. I have told you all are not required because economics में. If you want to write, you can write a free floating exchange rate. लिख लीजिए 4th point. Free floating, कोई नहीं. Free floating exchange rate. बस बाकी understand the idea. Basically, everything is determined by market. ठीक है. Now write down idea of India. Please everyone, heading idea of India. Who gave this idea of India? We discussed earlier. Rabindranath Tagore. Within this, write down the idea of India. The idea of India first propounded by Rabindranath Tagore. First propounded by Rabindranath Tagore. Full stop. He was against any intense. He was against any intense consciousness about one's nation. About one's nation. Full stop. That is why he emphasized on. किस पे emphasize किया था? That was a Sanskrit term. वासुदेव कुटुम्बकम. The world is one. इसका हम नेति गाना लघु ज्येष्ठाम. हाँ. What? What? Vasudev on Vasudev Kutumbakam. Emphasized on Vasudev Kutumbakam. Kutumbakam. Kutumbakam means family. It's a Sanskrit word. Actually, it's a Sanskrit sloka, I believe.
What do you mean the Vasudev Kutumbakam?
The world is a family. The world is one, basically. There is a Sanskrit sloka, I believe. Aham neti gana lagu chestam. Udhar charitam te Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Basically, it means that the people who are small, it does not mean by height, by mind, by personality. They say somebody is alien, somebody is mine. The people who are magnanimous, for them the entire world is a family. बड़ी बड़ी बातें. ठीक है. But it's a good idea anyway. बड़ी जल्दी. अच्छा, next class के लिए. Okay.
Can you just tell me, when you say that he was against any intense consciousness about one's nation, what does it exactly mean?
Could you repeat? Actually, it's too low here.
Okay, when you say that Rabindranath Tagore was against the idea of any intense consciousness about one's nation, what does it exactly mean? He was against the concept of nation, or what does that mean?
That the line that he is referring to, we just wrote now. He was against any intense consciousness about one's nation. It basically means you're Indian, good, but do not demonize Pakistani just because you're Indian.
Okay.
Got the point? The world is yours. Treat everyone as brother sister. You can hate the Pakistani government. Do not hate the people. The same way applies to Pakistan also. But again, we discussed their idea is different. The idea of Pakistan is Jinnah's two-nation theory. And the entire life Pakistan spent is to justify its existence.
Yes. Okay.
Chalo. Kal karenge.
Thank you, sir.
We still have to dictate this part and then we will move to next part. अब हो ही नहीं पा रहा वो concept. I won't do that, first thing. Okay, that is not under my control, first thing. But of course it will happen. 1 hour class is too small. हाँ. के बाद हो सकता है. Of course, that could. Yeah, it always fluctuates. You know, it's share market. It depends on demand and supply. New liberal governance we have here. ठीक है. Chalo, with that note, we will meet tomorrow. Everyone have a nice day.